What's up, y'all? It's your boy Batmac back at it again with the Patriots Connected franchise. And here we go. So we are officially in the off season. We are in week 17 still, so we're going to be going through the playoffs, seeing how teams do and everything like that. We're going to be making trades. We're going to be drafting. We're going to do all of the off season stuff here in one thing. I was planning on, thinking about streaming this, but I kind of just want to get through it and get to the next season as fast as possible. And especially since most of the time the first year free agency isn't that exciting, so I'll probably plan on streaming the second off season. So here you go. Without further ado, let's submit to the wild card playoffs. So here we are in the wild card playoffs. The playoff bracket is officially set and done. So we got the Kansas City Chiefs as the first seed in the AFC, and then we have the Steelers, the Titans, the Bills, Ravens, Raiders, and Colts. So that will finish off the playoffs. And then for the NFC, the Green Bay Packers got the first seed, then followed by the Seahawks, the Saints, Eagles winning the division, the NFC least, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Los Angeles Rams, and then the Chicago Bears to ultimately end everything. So there you go. And I'm happy to see that we can, not be in the playoffs and just be absolutely terrible. So taking a look at the upgraded players we have for this season right now, we can add a Gunnar Olszewski. We're going to add it to his slot ability. We're going to add another one to his slot ability. Everybody else was just auto upgrade, but I do like Gunnar Olszewski. So our contract was extended, so that's good to see. So nothing was ruined for us. And then let's take a look. Let's see how the playoffs go. So we're going to advance it to the next week. All right. So the Steelers beat the Colts 27-10. Raiders beat the Titans 27-14. And Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens beat the Bills 28-26. So that's going to set up the AFC divisional round with the Chiefs versus the Raiders. So division matchup right there, and the Steelers versus the Ravens. Meanwhile, in the NFC, the Seahawks slipped by the Bears 27-22. The Rams do work on the Saints and win 21-3. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers absolutely demolished the Eagles 47-7 to set up Los Angeles Rams, Green Bay Packers, and Tampa Bay traveling to Seattle. So let's see how it goes next. And then, so next, the Kansas City Chiefs get by the Raiders 42-28. And the Steelers dominate the Ravens 35-7 to set up a Chiefs and Steelers AFC Championship. Meanwhile, on the NFC side, the Green Bay Packers beat the Rams 28-21. And Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defeat the Seattle Seahawks to make it a Tampa Bay, Green Bay NFC Championship. The quarterbacks that could potentially be in the Super Bowl are Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Ben Roethlisberger, and Patrick Mahomes. Any matchup that happens in the Super Bowl here is going to be absolutely amazing and would absolutely be fun to watch. Before we check out who goes to the Super Bowl, let's check out these Pro Bowl lineups. You guys can see everybody else on here, but I'm going to see if we have anybody. So we have nobody yet. I don't imagine anybody on the opposite side of the ball getting it for us, unless it's the old lineman. Looks like Darren Waller made it. Okay. Nobody yet. Y'all know everybody. Y'all know exactly who everybody is. Joey Bosa there. Myles Garrett, no surprise. And Oliver, that's solid. TJ Watt. Jerome Baker. Queen. Bradley Chubb. former Patriot. I don't understand how J.C. Jackson didn't get there, but alright. Devin McCourty, only Pro Bowl player on this roster. Oh, and Gunnar Osetsky. And that's just because we simmed. That's because we did start today, and he probably got a lot of yards. That's pathetic. So the Chiefs and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are in the Super Bowl. The Kansas City Chiefs beat the Pittsburgh Steelers 38-22. And Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers rout the Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers 42-24 to set up a Tom Brady versus Patrick Mahomes Super Bowl. You got Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Tyreek Hill versus Tom Brady, Mike Evans, Antonio Brown, and Chris Godwin. And let's see who wins. Also, before we check this out, so Aaron Rodgers did win MVP. As you guys saw in the stats, he had a very solid season. 47 touchdowns on the year for Aaron Rodgers. So that's a very solid year. Patrick Mahomes second in the list. And this is the rest. Tom Brady 8th. Coach of the year went to Andy Reid. And this is the short list. As far as AFC Offensive Player of the Year goes to Patrick Mahomes. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Myles Garrett. Myles Jack behind him. Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Justin Herbert in the AFC. No surprise there. Joe Burrow right behind him. CEH, Jonathan Taylor, Jared Judy, James Robinson. Very solid. Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to Patrick Queen. Logan Wilson, Kyle Duggar, third on the list there. So that's what I love to see. Got the young guy balling out. In real life, I think Julian Blackmon is going to be the one that wins this. QB goes to Patrick Mahomes. No surprise there. Best running back goes to Derrick Henry. I'm assuming the NFC would be Dalvin Cook. Best receiver goes to Keenan Allen. Okay, we're not going to have anybody. Best old lineman goes to Mitchell Schwartz. Patrick Mahomes' favorite lineman. Best D-line goes to Myles Garrett. Joey Bosa behind him. Best linebacker goes to TJ Watt. Myles Jack behind him. Best DB goes to JC Jackson. That's what I love to see. We'll have to check out his dev trade after this. Devin McCourty 7th on the list. Best kicker goes to Randy Bullock. For the NFC, Aaron Rodgers, the MVP, gets Offensive Player of the Year. Tom Brady, at his age, is 5th on the list. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Roquan Smith. Aaron Donald on the list. No surprise there. Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to DeAndre Swift, who's been saving my fantasy team and ruining it at the same time. CeeDee Lamb, 2nd on the list. Antonio Gibson, Justin Jefferson. This class was insane. Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to Jeff Gladney for the Minnesota Vikings. Chase Young, 3rd on the list. Trayvon Diggs, there you go, 5th. AJ Terrell, nice. Best quarterback goes to Aaron Rodgers. Brady, 3rd on the list. Best running back goes to Dalvin Cook. Zeke, number 2 on that list. Best receiver goes to Devontae Adams. I know he got in the end zone the most. Mike Evans had a solid year. DK Metcalf, 4th on the list. Best O-line goes to David Bakhtiari. Best D-lineman goes to Aaron Donald. Best linebacker is Darius Smith. Best DB, Kendall Fuller. Best kicker, Mason Crossbar. So ultimately in the Super Bowl, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat the Kansas City Chiefs 24-17. Tom Brady, 2 touchdowns, no turnovers on the day, 284 yards, completed 23 of 35, 65% of his passes. Patrick Mahomes had 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and there you go. All right, so Tom Brady had a solid game. Rushing the ball, nobody really spectacular, 44 yards, the leading rusher, Le'Veon Bell, so both teams decided to pass a lot. Receiving, Chris Godwin, 8 catches, 123 yards, did not find himself in the end zone. McCole Hardman, 86 yards. Tyreek Hill got put on lock. So did Mike Evans, Rob Gronkowski. So that was just kind of just everywhere for everybody. Who got in the end zone was McCole Hardman and Sammy Watkins. And then Scotty Miller. And I guess his second touchdown doesn't mean anything. And then he must have been a defender, I guess. And then here we go. Tyrann Mathieu led in tackles, sacks. Cedric Thompson and Frank Clark. So Tom Brady got sacked twice. And then 2 interceptions were Sean Murphy-Bunting and Levante David. So Tom Brady just got his 7th Super Bowl ring and beat Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs to win his 7th Super Bowl. But not for the New England Patriots, but for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Which is more a slap to the face that he's going to go win the Super Bowl in a franchise where we just went 8-8. You hate to see it. Before we look at who we want to try and re-sign, we're going to look at who retired. So we got most notable names, Donald Penn, Chad Henne, Cameron Wake, Jason Witten, Richie Incognito, Ryan Khalil, Manuel Sanders, Jason Peters, Phillip Rivers, Terrell Suggs, Jonathan Joseph, Darren Fells, I guess, Julian Edelman, and Devin McCourty. What a time. What a time. You hate to see it, but both of these guys just left for us. So now we just lost Julian Edelman and Devin McCourty. Adrian Peterson retires. Danny Amendola. Frank Gore finally retires. Same with Adam Vinatieri, Matt Schaub. Larry Fitzgerald is out of Arizona now. Ted Ginn Jr. Now I definitely have to look at receiver heavily because we don't even have Julian Edelman anymore. That's definitely something I'm going to have to look at. Now, Julian Edelman being gone, I really don't know what's going to happen with that because he was our best receiver. We didn't really get to play with him since we started in the new franchise. And now we don't even have Julian Edelman anymore. So, Alfred Morris, Tramon Williams, Josh McCown, Antoine Bethea, didn't even know he was still in there, Orlando Scandrick, Andy Reid, and Pete Carroll. Both retired. So Andy Reid wins the Super Bowl, loses the Super Bowl, and decides to hang it up. Okay, so now here we go. Looking at the people to try to re-sign. So James White, we're going to let hit free agency. We have to build this team up from the ground. No Julian Edelman. No Devin McCourty. Might as well let Jason McCourty go to free agency. Cam Newton, I'm going to let hit free agency. Lawrence Guy, 31. Damiere Byrd. He didn't like the salary. And he's 73 overall. Okay, so he stayed with the team. Rex Burkhead, we're going to let hit free agency. Terrence Brooks, Brandon Copeland, Derek Rivers. I'll see if he'll take the minimum. We got the deal done. All right. And that's about it. That's all I care about re-signing. So let's hit free agency and see who's there. But we're also going to try to make a trade maybe before we even do that. So here we go, looking at our team going into free agency. We don't have Cam Newton anymore. Sony Michel is our best running back, but I will be starting Damian Harris. So quarterback, clearly need somebody here in this spot. No more Julian Edelman, so our receiving core is very, very pedestrian. N'Keal Harry is our best receiver at 76 overall. The tight end situation is gross. Taking a look at our defense. J.C. Jackson moved up to a superstar after getting DB of the year. He is strip specialist, which I'm going to change. Okay, let's go mid zone. No, not KO. We don't need that. Let's go acrobat. And then short route KO. No. Let's go pick artist. So there you go. So J.C. Jackson, we're going to make it so he's definitely getting more interceptions and more of a playmaker. We still have Stephon Gilmore. Probably going to be looking to trade him. Let's generate our best lineup. I know Dante Hightower will be back at some point. He's 14 weeks out, so might have to be able to trade him later. But I'll probably plan on keeping him. But our defense, we need to completely revamp everything. And right now, I'm not totally confident in our team. So Stephon Gilmore, you might be out of here, bud. Okay, we're going to try this first. Okay. Let's try to give him a 4th round. Okay, there you go. Maybe like a 4th round next year. Stephon Gilmore, and then the 4th round this year. Apparently not. 3rd round next year. And this should work. There you go. We have a 6th pick in the draft, and hopefully we can get something really good with it. Alright, so we see a receiver like Juju Smith-Schuster in free agency right now, and with the money that we have, I don't care. We're going to put more money, and I'm going to make it so that he is for sure going to come to us. There you go. 5-year deal. $95 million deal for 5 years. That's what we're going to try to give him. He will be 29 once his contract is done. And hopefully we can try to sign some other players, especially with us losing Julian Edelman. We really need to get a weapon, and quarterback is something we're going to be looking at. So let's just take a look. So right now, Cam Newton is looking like he could be going to the Indianapolis Colts. I don't really care to sign him. Jameis Winston is a quarterback I'm going to potentially try looking at to sign. And maybe bring back Jacoby Brissett, but mainly looking at Jameis Winston right now. But we are going to keep looking and see what we can ultimately do. So I saw Robert Tonyan in free agency, so I'm going to be throwing some money at him, maybe develop him into the player he's turning to in real life. But we're going to keep looking at other positions. Right now, no negotiations are down to Juju and Robert Tonyan right now, but we're going to keep looking around for other people. Looks like Desmond King is here in free agency, so maybe we can try to sign him, especially since we just traded Stephon Gilmore. So I'm going to try to get Desmond King here. There you go. Be the top bid right now and only bid. So hopefully we can try to get him. Free safety, got to look at that with the loss of Devin McCourty. A player like Marcus Williams would definitely help our secondary, so I'm going to be looking at this as well. Okay. We're not the top bid. I'm going to make sure we are the top bid. 96. That's dang. Washington is really throwing money at Marcus Williams. I know everybody remembers Marcus Williams for that play in the playoffs, but this guy's an absolute beast. And there you go. We're the top bid. We're making 50.4 for 5 years. There you go. We're the top bid. You love to see it. All right, here goes the moment of truth. But first, Juju Smith-Schuster is our top bid that we're trying to throw money at. I might even throw a little bit more money at him. The guy's an absolute beast, and we need him on our roster. We got Desmond King, Marcus Williams, Robert Tonyan, and Dan Feeney to get some depth at the center position behind David Andrews. So we're gonna sim it, and we're gonna see how this goes. You're gonna get a live reaction to this stuff. Let's go. Let's go! And we got Juju Smith-Schuster, baby. Let's go! Juju Smith-Schuster, Marcus Williams, Dan Feeney, and Desmond King signed with us. We still have 17.2 mil our signings right now. So Robert Tonyan still a potential signee right now, and I love it. We're going to look at quarterback as well. I don't necessarily think that Jameis Winston will be our starter, but we're going to give him some money and maybe have a little QB battle, and that is way too much money. Forget that. That's going to put us at horrible cap space, so I'm not going to do that. But we are going to look at maybe a veteran, just to potentially. I plan on drafting somebody regardless, so I don't really know what to do here. I'm going to sign. Nope. But I'm not going with Jarrett Stidham. I can tell you that right now. We're not going with him as a potential starter in case I don't really draft anybody I like. So we're just going to go get Jacoby Brissett and see how that can look. But he might be the backup anyway still. And after that, I don't really feel like signing anybody else. Our team is not that dire. So we're just going to scout, and then we're going to advance the week. About to advance the week after scouting some players. Fifth-year options, so here we go. Isaiah Wynn, clearly going to pick up his fifth-year option. I don't even know why that would be a question. There you go. Isaiah Wynn. And now let's take a look at this draft. I'm actually going to maybe potentially trade up one more pick. Try to get this fourth pick in the draft. Sorry, Damiere Byrd. I'm going to try to put you in a trade. So here we go. We're going to send Jarrett Stidham because I don't want him on my roster anymore. The sixth pick and Damiere Byrd for the fourth pick from the Jacksonville Jaguars. And there you go. You love to see it. All right, another fifth-year option. We're looking at Sony Michel. I want this to be a year for Sony Michel to prove it. So we're going to say no. And we're going to make note of that. So he has to play well this year for us to really try to. Yeah, he might get traded. So, but we did re-sign we did sign Robert Tonyan and Jacoby Brissett. So we do officially have a starting quarterback currently, but we do plan on drafting one anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Now time to scout. I'm not going to show you guys how much the scouting is because I just got this draft class, so I haven't really done a lot of scouting. I literally just got to add it week 17 because my draft class I had in the original franchise did not transfer over to PS5, so I downloaded Bengal's draft class. I could put a link in the description to his draft class and what it is, but yeah, I'm sure you guys know who Bengal is. So James White is still a free agent right now, so I'm going to try to get him a one-year deal for about 3.2 mil. Right now, we could potentially sign him, so I'm not going to sign him for too much. A little disrespectful for him, but, you know. I would re-sign Antonio Brown, but let's be honest, Robert Kraft wouldn't really want that, so we're not going to do it. We're going to try to keep this as realistic as possible. Antonio Brown will never end up in New England ever again. So, I hate to see it. I hate to say it and I hate to see it, but it's accurate. But we are going to look at some more wide receivers. Maybe AJ Green. But we'll do that more once the next season starts if he's still a free agent there. Let's look at Trent Taylor. I like Trent Taylor, so we're going to look at him. I'm not going to give him that much money because that's ridiculous. I'm not going to give him that much more money than James White. There you go. 2-year contract, Trent Taylor. There you go. So now let's advance the week. We got James White and we got Trent Taylor. We're going to scout and then we're going to go into the draft. We're going to view free agency to see where players went. League signings. Todd Gurley is a Baltimore Raven. Snacks Harrison is a Seahawk. Gronk is... Alright. Philip Lindsay is a Miami Dolphin. Mike Hilton, Raiders. Jared Cook, Redskins. Avery Williamson, Browns. Tevin Coleman, Jets. Sheldon Rankins, Jaguars. Kalichi Osemele, Chargers. Jordan Reed is a Panther. Gerald Everett is going to be a Jaguar. Damian Williams left Kansas City and went to Houston. Nikhil Roby-Coleman, Raiders. Jonathan Hankins, Jets. So Jets had a lot of signings. Duke Johnson, Jaguars. Dante Fowler, Arizona. DeCarcus McKinley, Colts. Making that defense a little bit better. Even then, it's already good. Mike Pouncey is a Dolphin. Mike Davis, Jets. Carl Joseph leaves Cleveland and goes to the Jaguars. Gus Edwards is going to leave Baltimore. He's going to try to get more work as the Washington running back behind Antonio Gibson and J.D. McKissick. I don't know where he fits in that depth chart, but he'll be fine. D.D. Westbrook will go to Seattle to team up with DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. Cam Newton, the quarterback for us last season, is going to be an Indianapolis Colt. Villanueva is going to be a Redskin. Josh Gordon's back in the league, and he'll be a Jet. Kenny Stills, Chargers. Ryan Kerrigan, Colts. So this Colts defense is stacking up. Pascal goes back to the Colts. Tyus Bowser's a Giant. Leonard Floyd, Raiders. Demarius Randall, Raiders. So that's the league. That's the signings right there. And obviously our signings were Juju, Desmond King, Marcus Williams, James White, Trent Taylor, Jacoby Brissett, Robert Tynion, and Dan Feeney. You love to see it. And now let's start this draft. So we're going to start the draft, and we're going to have some live reactions for at least until our first pick, and then we'll sim and we'll recap the whole draft after that. So for the first pick, the New York Jets are on the clock. I can't imagine them not drafting Trevor Lawrence. That would just make absolutely no sense if they don't draft Trevor Lawrence. I would just be super confused. But it would be kind of funny if the Jets really just blotched their pick like that. And there you go. Trevor Lawrence is going to be a New York Jet. Now, the Detroit line's a little bit tricky. I don't know if they're going to go get a quarterback. They still have Matthew Stafford. I mean, you could get his successor after this. If Justin Fields and DeAndre Swift are together, that would be absolutely insane. But getting the tackle out of Oregon would be... Oh, and they go Justin Fields. So Justin Fields and DeAndre Swift. So Justin Fields will probably be backing up Matthew Stafford unless he regressed horribly and is already going to be the backup to Justin Fields. So I'll be excited to keep an eye on that. And then next, our pick is next after the Minnesota Vikings, whose pick we almost traded for. We almost traded Stephon Gilmore there, and they get Penei Sewell. So now, here comes our pick. And I know exactly where I'm going with this pick. I was thinking about Trey Lance out of North Dakota State, but I've been seeing our Carson Wentz playing, so we're going to go with the old boy Zach Wilson out of BYU. Right now, is 40, so fourth quarterback. He's a 4.63. He's athletic. I know he can throw, so I'm definitely excited. We're not gonna have a pocket passing quarterback like we had with Tom Brady all these years. But we are going to have the new sensation, Zach Wilson at BYU with a hidden dev trait. 74 overall. He's going to 93 throw power, 84 short, 73 awareness. There you go. Play action 73. There you go. Speed 85. I love to see it, Brian. I love to see it. So there you go. And then the Dolphins drafted Gregory Rousseau. We'll just go till my next pick. Why not? Top 10 picks at least. We'll get some live reaction. So the Jaguars are on the clock. I can't imagine them not going for a quarterback. So maybe Trey Lance here. I would assume so. They traded out of our pick. I guess they weren't super high. Oh, they go Jamar Chase. So it looks like they're going to keep running with Gardner Minshew. Or my boy Jake Luton. I'd never, I know the guy, but I haven't totally, whatever. But him and I are cool. I'm happy to see him playing. And there you go. Micah Parsons is going to go to the Dallas Cowboys. So now the Redskins are on the clock. Now Redskins are going to draft Trey Lance. So Alex Smith is going to probably not be playing anymore. I know Dwayne Haskins, they're moving on for him. So Trey Lance will be the Washington Redskins quarterback. The quarterback out of North Dakota State will be traveling to Washington, the Washington football team, to try and play and try to get them back to, Super Bowl contention. So now the cornerback, Patrick Surtain, the second out of Alabama, is going to be going to the Los Angeles Chargers since they did lose their corner to us. So now they're going to be having the best cornerback in the draft. And now the Atlanta Falcons are on the clock, and they're going to go with Kwity Paye out of Michigan. Paye, I don't know. That's a solid pick. They do need some defense. In real life, I don't know what they're going to be doing with their team. That might be blowing it up a little bit, but I'm excited to see how that turns out in real life. So now the Denver Broncos select Wyatt Davis, the guard out of Ohio State, trying to give some more protection to Colin Kaepernick or Drew Lock. I can't really remember if this franchise signed Colin Kaepernick, but I'm sure they did because they always do. So Colin Kaepernick's going to have a little bit more protection, and when Drew Lock takes over, he'll have a lineman that is more developed. Now the Cincinnati Bengals select Christian Darrisaw, the right tackle out of Virginia Tech. So giving more protection to Joe Burrow. I like to see that, man. I like Joe Burrow. I'm excited to see what he can turn into. Miami Dolphins are on the clock, and they will be selecting Kyle Pitts, the tight end out of Florida, who we were going to look to try and draft. Didn't realistically feel like we could trade up. But now Kyle Pitts is not on our team. We do have Robert Tonyan, so but we couldn't get the best tight end in the draft, who's potentially one of the best players in the draft, in Kyle Pitts. And now Carolina Panthers selected Jalen Waddle out of Alabama, and now it's our chance to try and get another pick. So we drafted the quarterback right now, but you know what? With a good quarterback, man, a good quarterback always needs a good receiver. So we are going to reach, and we are going to get Devontae Smith, who I personally think is the best receiver in college football. It might be my Bama bias, but that's what we're going to go with. I was thinking about Jeremiah Owusu Kamara, but I don't even know how to say his name, and that's kind of messed up if I go and draft him. So I'm thinking about Devontae Smith, who's clearly faster than a 4.45, so we might have to edit his speed because I know he's faster than that. The guy's a burner. But right now, I'm kind of stuck between the left outside linebacker or Devonta Smith. I know where he's not going to be the pass rusher that we really want. He's a pass coverage guy, so it's more of a 4-3 linebacker. So we're going to go with Devonta Smith. And a hidden dev trait, 12th in true value, and drafted him at the 15th pick. So he fell a little bit, but there you go, Devonta Smith. Welcome to the New England Patriots. We're just going to sim through this draft and see what our next pick. So we end up getting Brevin Jordan, the tight end out of Miami, the U. Vertical threat, 71, normal trait, normal dev trait. So he is our, starting tight end now, but that's kind of a dud. So there's another receiver here in the draft right now, and considering how bad our receivers were, I really feel like we should just get him because he's a 3rd round. So we're going to go get Ronaldo Moore, who's a hidden dev trait, ranked number 38 in true value, and I drafted him at the 79th pick. That's what I like to see, man. That is that's right there. That's some true value. Hidden dev trait as well, man. That's what I love to see. So Ronaldo Moore, receiver out of Purdue. Welcome to New England. For the 5th pick in the draft, 5th round pick for us. We didn't really get a lot of scouting, so I don't really know what to do with this. At this point, everybody is off of our thing, so I'm actually going to trade this pick, and let's decide what we can do with it. I know I traded some picks for next year, so we'll just get a 4th round pick in next year's draft from the Las Vegas Raiders. We're going to do the same with the 6th round pick. Get another 4th rounder, 5th rounder. We're going to get a 5th rounder from the Miami Dolphins. Took a pick away from our adversary. We have another pick right here. We're going to get another pick. I'm just going to get it from the Houston Texans. I feel I can imagine that would be a good pick because they never do good in the sim. And then our last pick in the draft, the 7th round pick, pick 15. We're going to trade this as well for a 6th round pick next year from the Miami Dolphins. That way they don't have as many picks. And now we're at the end of the draft. I'm taking a look at the draft recap. We drafted Zach Wilson in the 1st round, the 4th pick. Devonta Smith in the 1st round with the 15th pick. Brevin Jordan, 2nd round, 15th pick. And Ronaldo Moore, 3rd round, 15th pick in the 3rd round. So now let's take a look at every team in the league, starting with the Chicago Bears. Chicago Bears draft Dylan Moses out of Alabama. And this is the rest of their draft picks. That's the most notable name that they drafted. The Cincinnati Bengals with the getting protection for Joe Burrow, the tackle out of Virginia Tech. And for the most part, everything else is just, solid value. Now for the Buffalo Bills, they draft Joseph Osaway, also out of Texas, a left outside linebacker. 1st round, 22nd pick in the draft. And then Caden Sterns as well, the safety out of Texas. So I feel like that's really good value for where they got him. And this is the rest of the people they drafted. Now for the Denver Broncos, Wyatt Davis to give some protection to their quarterback. The guard out of Ohio State. And this is the rest that they drafted as well. The Cleveland Browns drafted Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, the linebacker we almost drafted instead of Devonta Smith. 75 overall. He's the 18th pick in the draft. That's solid. They also drafted Desmond Ridder the quarterback out of Cincinnati to back up Baker Mayfield. I mean, if they don't re-sign Baker this year, Desmond Ridder could be the one playing. 64 overall, I don't imagine it, but you know, I've seen some crazier things. You love it. Now the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, not the best pick. They won the Super Bowl, so 32nd pick in the first round. They drafted Jordan Davis, the D tackle out of Georgia, and everything else kind of just everywhere. But Mr. Irrelevant, Shane, whatever, out of SMU. Arizona Cardinals get J.C. Horn, the cornerback out of South Carolina, along with Kyle Trask to back up Kyler Murray. So Kyle Trask fell into the third round. He's projected to be a first-round pick. The Chargers get Patrick Surtain to help that defense, so Justin Herbert doesn't have to score 40 points a game to win, and especially with you know what their safety is. He'll be back. Zaven Collins, linebacker out of Tulsa. And that's the most notable names I know. The Kansas City Chiefs, they get AZ, the right end out of Georgia. They also get Jabril CX out of LSU, the middle linebacker. So that's two solid picks right there. And then there's some depth everywhere else. The Indianapolis Colts get Shane Wade, the cornerback out of Ohio State. And then Walter Little to give some protection for Cam Newton. Tylan Wallace, Oklahoma State. So that's just, helping out Cam Newton. The Dallas Cowboys, interested to see this. Micah Parsons, the right outside linebacker out of Penn State. One of the best players in the draft. Jackson Carman, Andre Sisco, Baron Browning, and Amara Barney. With Dak Prescott coming back, I'm excited to see what the Cowboys can do this season. Miami Dolphins, Gregory Rousseau out of Miami. They get the best tight end in the draft, Kyle Pitts. Creed Humphrey, the best center in the draft. Okay, yep. The Miami Dolphins had a very solid draft, man. That is a solid draft. Right there. 570 overalls. That's crazy. Philadelphia Eagles, Sam Cosmi, the tackle out of Texas, to replace Jason Peters. Chaz Surratt out of North Carolina. So, okay, Sam Ehlinger to back up the backup, Jalen Hurts. So, okay, that's, just depth. The Atlanta Falcons get Kwity Paye that we talked about. They also get Chuba Hubbard. Since Todd Gurley left, they are getting the running back out of Oklahoma State, Chuba Hubbard. Then Mac Jones is going to be the predecessor to Matt Ryan. I assume he's not going to play this season, but he'll probably be playing this season after that. So I'm excited to see how that goes. Now the 49ers, Caleb Farley is the first draft pick they had, and the 16th pick in the draft, the cornerback out of Virginia Tech. They also get Deontay Brown, the guard out of Bama, Puka Williams, the running back out of Kansas. And for the most part, that's really nice. The New York Giants, Najee Harris is their top pick, the sixth pick in the second round, running back out of Bama. Okay, I love to see that. They also get Brock Purdy to back up Daniel Jones, and Charleston Rambo is another weapon for Daniel Jones to throw to. The Jacksonville Jaguars did not draft a quarterback, but they did draft Jamar Chase as the sixth pick in the draft. So that's kind of nice to see. Travis Etienne, the running back out of Clemson, is going to play ahead of James Robinson, since I think that I started this before he got bumped up in overall. The New York Jets, Trevor Lawrence, the best player in the draft, is going to be the quarterback for the New York Jets, and we're going to have to be playing him for the next 15 years. You hate to see it. It's dope, though. Now, the Detroit Lions, Justin Fields. He's going to be the predecessor to Matthew Stafford, and hopefully he can actually get them into the playoffs and maybe break the curse in Detroit and get them a Super Bowl. They also got him a weapon, Elijah Moore out of Ole Miss. The Green Bay Packers draft Jalen Twyman. I don't know. And then everything else, kind of an underwhelming draft for the Green Bay Packers. Carolina Panthers drafted Jalen Waddle to help out the receiving core, DJ Moore, Curtis Samuel, and Robbie Anderson. So that's pretty solid for the Carolina Panthers. Oh wait, Robbie Anderson, I think. I can't remember if he was a free agent. I didn't really pay attention. I just saw Juju and just kind of spaced out, you know. So that's solid. Now, you know what we drafted, so now let's check out the Las Vegas Raiders. Marvin Wilson, the 26th pick in the draft. The D-tackle out of Florida State. Trey Smith, the guard out of Tennessee. And then this is the rest that they drafted. C.J. Verdal, the running back out of Oregon. Xavier Kelly of Clemson. Now the Rams. Underwhelming draft. I mean, actually solid draft. Patrick Jones, the second, the corner, the end of Pittsburgh, and then I was right outside the back of Oregon State, Maliker Rashed Jr. Now we go with the Ravens, the 27th pick in the draft. They get Tyson Campbell out of Georgia, the cornerback, and then everything else is kind of just there. Trey Lance, the new quarterback for the Washington football team. Excited to see what he can do there. They also get Carlos Basham, the end out of Wake Forest. Chris Olave, the receiver out of Ohio State. Excited to see what he can do there. That's a sleeper pick right there. And there you go. So the Saints, Eric Stokes, Amon-Ra St. Brown. So I'm excited to see what that can do. There you go. The Seattle Seahawks drafted Liam Eichenberg as their top pick, tackle out of Notre Dame. Pittsburgh Steelers, Alex Leatherwood, 29th pick in the draft, tackle out of Alabama, one of the best linemen in the draft. And no successor for Big Ben. He must be still in the league. I don't remember him retiring, so it makes sense. The Houston Texans drafted... Their first pick was in the 3rd round. They got Richie Grant from UCF, the safety. Okay. Tennessee Titans, Jay Tufele, the D-tackle out of USC, 23rd pick in the draft. They also got Asante Samuel Jr., which that's a really solid pick right there. Derek King, potentially to be the predecessor to Ryan Tannehill whenever he decides to retire. There you go. Now the Minnesota Vikings, last but certainly not least, they got the 3rd pick in the draft and drafted Penei Sewell, Darius Stills, KJ Costello, the quarterback out of Mississippi State, potentially to replace Kirk Cousins. And everything else, there you go. So that is to conclude our draft. We're going to look at a few more retirements potentially. So Jimmy Graham and, wow, Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie, DRC, retired as well. So there you go. Now let's take a look. We're going to go into the preseason, look at our new team, and then I'm going to get you guys out of here. So we got Dante Hightower returning, Marcus Cannon returning, Patrick Chung returning, Najee Torin, Bo Allen, all returning from injury. So our team is fully healthy. We're going to probably try to potentially re-sign some other players or sign some more players. So here we go. Taking a look at our team now. Like I said, Damian Harris will be the starting running back if the game doesn't, decides not to keep being frozen on me. That'd be fantastic. And okay, we're gonna have to close the game. I'll be right back. All right, we're back. So here we go. Taking a look, we're gonna move Damian Harris to the starter because that's how we're gonna do. I like Damian Harris. Juju Smith-Schuster is our top guy. We're going to move Devontae Smith up over N'Keal Harry right now. Actually, we'll put N'Keal Harry above. Okay. But we're going to have Ronaldo Moore be the 4th receiver on this roster right now. We're going to be messing around with some playbooks when we get to the preseason, so let's keep taking looks. Now I'll take a look at our defense. Okay. You know, it's not bad. Pat Chung and all that. Okay. We're going to be messing around with the depth chart. We're going to see how other players play in other positions. But I am not mad at this roster right now. But I'm very excited for Zach Wilson. So we're going to make sure we see his number. Yep, number 1. And there you go. I'm excited to see what Zach Wilson can do. We're actually going to give him some drip. We're going to give him some arm sleeves. We're going to give him some drip. Okay, I don't want to see what his dev trade is, so we're just going to, generic. Let's go, okay, there you go. He's more of a slinger. All right, here we go. Now we're going to go half. Undershirt, there you go. We're going to go undershirt team color. There you go. Make sure that didn't mess it. Yep, okay, still hidden depth trait. That's what I like to see. Alright, and there you go. So now our new team, new quarterback at the helm. We lost Julian Edelman. I feel like we've revamped our receiver pretty well. And now I'm excited to see what we can do with a new quarterback under center. Tom Brady is still in Tampa Bay, and I think we will be playing him this season. So let's take a look at the schedule. The regular season schedule, we will have the Miami Dolphins, the New York Jets, Colts, Jets, Panthers, Falcons, Saints. Oh, and Falcons and Saints. You know we're going to play Tom Brady then. Raiders, Ravens, Bills, Dolphins, and we are going to travel to Tampa Bay to play Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So Tom Brady will be playing against his former team where he won 6 Super Bowls. He just won his 7th in Tampa Bay, and we're going to try to beat him. And then there you go. I'm not mad at it. But anyways, y'all, the next video will be the preseason matchup against the Seattle Seahawks. And we're going to try to see what we can do with Zach Wilson, and we're going to mess around with some playbooks. If you're new to the channel, make sure to like and subscribe. And let's get excited, man. Year 2 is on the way.